So this is the new cable for the C3, and if you get it and it's not together, this shows you how to put it together. So this is the back side of the cable that attaches to the motor mount, and the bracket's not on there, so you'll have to attach it. This bracket only goes on one way. There's a track that this lays into on the frame. There's a little nipple on here for the plate that holds the cover over the shroud. So it only goes one way like this, so it goes up. So this is actually the right side of the chair if you're standing in front of it, and this goes this way to the back of the chair. So now this only goes onto the cable one way, and if you do the other side, it's gonna go on the opposite way, and I'll show you. So now you have the bracket slid on the chair. Just keep it on there, and there's more parts to this bracket, leave them off. Those go on when you install the bracket. So now you got to put the nut onto the threads. So this is a 8mm nut, so I just thread it on. And honestly, what you want showing is about 5 to 6 threads. And then you can actually screw on the chain, and you can install the parts that go onto the chain first. So you have a master link that comes in here. It looks like this, and it has both parts on this master link. It has the other half that you need to put on the other side, and you get the clips. So these clips, if you can see it, unlock. So if you ever have to remove it or anything, if you have a part break, you pop it off. And then when you when you go to install these clips, you can use a flathead screwdriver, or you can use a pair of channel locks and squeeze the clip half, get it lined up, and just squeeze this side like so, and it will pop it right on. Be sure these are locked, because if they're not locked, you'll have a problem because they'll pop off when the client uses the chair. So you want to face these down. So the threaded side face the clip down, and then at the bottom where it connects to the chair itself into the motor mount, same thing, you want it to face down. And try to put these on the same side. It's just good aesthetically, and be sure that these clips are clipped. So now once you have this assembled, you can screw it right onto the cable, and it's easy to turn the cable or turn the chain. Be sure you start it by hand or start it carefully, because you could cross thread these things, if you don't line them up right before you start. So I want about 5 or 6 threads showing, and you could actually measure the distance. So now once I hit the end of this, it will stop. It's an 8mm. I can actually hold this side and lock this side, and then count or measure with a tape, or measure this with a tape measure, and do the same thing on the other side. So now I have this all assembled. So now I know the bracket goes on this side. So when you go to do the opposite side of this bracket, you want to be sure that the opposite side is facing in. So when you install it on the chair, on the left side, it's going to look like that on the other cable. And this will be on the top. So make sure it's on the top of the cable, and track on the inside. So that's how you install all the parts onto the cable. You might get it pre-installed, you might not, but this helps you to know how to install this, because if we don't pre-install it for you, then you can install it yourself. And that's how to install the chain onto the new standing cable. Now if you have a standing cable break, you don't need this bracket, you just need the cable. So if you have the top part of the cable break and not the chain, you can actually change this, the cable itself. Thanks. So I removed this is how you do a standing cable on a C3